You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Are you ready to learn the 3 secrets to launching a successful podcast? Hi, I'm Bill, a recent client of the Podcast Mogul. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast but aren't sure where to begin, he's got you covered. He is hosting a free webinar where he will share the 3 secrets that can help you launch, grow, and monetize your podcast without any fancy equipment or technical headaches. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot now and let him help get your podcast off the ground.
Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Join the Podcast Mogul Phil Better as he interviews successful entrepreneurs that make their living in the digital world. Now, let's join your host, Phil Better, and his special guest today on Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting, powerful, packed episode of Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm, of course, your host with the most Phil Better, the Podcast Mogul, and today our guest is someone I've been excited to talk about since I just met her weeks ago. They are one of the brilliant minds behind Chime House Media, the one-of-a-kind boutique Facebook ad agency that specializes in crafting strategies tailored for business owners with podcasts like myself. So excited. She teamed up with her husband. They carved out their niche, helping podcasters skyrocket their downloads, build substantial email lists, and expand their audiences, all without the constant pressure of having to show up live, like I am doing right now, to grow your show and business. It's a game-changing approach that has garnered attention and acclaim worldwide, not just in her little town, worldwide. Beyond her professional prowess, our guest and her husband share a passion for the finer things in life, like wine, cheese, the great outdoors, and of course, her 2 beautiful little Boston Terriers.
Yeah.
Now, without further ado, let's welcome the force to be reckoned with in the podcast marketing arena. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to our guest, the CEO of Chime House Media, the maestro of podcast guest strategies, Megan Shields. Megan, thank you so much for being here.
That was the raddest intro I've ever got. So thank you so much. I'm super hyped up. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
You are welcome. I look at myself as the hype man for every rap star, and I think my guests are the rappers, and I'm the hype man. So I have to hype up my guests to get them excited. We got Danny Marie already here saying worldwide. She's clapping. She's loving it. She's interested in going on. She's one of the people who have messaged me. So Megan, I'm just spewing out words here at this point, so I'm going to stop. I want you to give us a quick introduction before we jump into this world of Facebook ads and Chime House Media.
Yeah. So, that was a fantastic intro. So just a little bit of a background on what I do. So we started our business back in 2020, kind of on the heels of what I had done professionally in my previous life, in sales and business development, marketing, that sort of thing. And really have been primarily working in the online space since 2020, because of course, with COVID, everybody went online. Everyone was creating courses and everyone needed to build their email lists and build their audiences and enter in Facebook ads. So the past 4 years, I've been working solely in that space with some local clients now that we're kind of coming out of COVID. But last year, I had a friend approach me in the podcasting space to try some specific strategies as it relates to growing a podcast and how important it is for podcasters to grow their audience and engage with their audience, and the fact that people are having the hardest time as ever to get seen online organically right now. And so we came up with some strategies, and I actually ended up fully pivoting my business to serve business owners with podcasts. And so over the past year, we've really been like refining our services and figuring out different ways in which we can help people, whether it's a course, which we'll talk about today, or one-to-one services and that sort of thing. But it's been great. And it really just breathed like new life back into my business because podcasters are just rad. Like we just vibe. And it's just been fantastic. So I'm just really excited to be here to chat with you just about all the cool things we've got going on. So thank you so much for giving me a space to do that.
It is my absolute pleasure, Megan. When you reached out to me telling me that you had this amazing course, this amazing product for podcasters to use Facebook ads to boost their business, I was like, I need you on my podcast. End of discussion. Like, it was not even like, okay, I'm going to put you through our system to decide. I'm like, no, you're helping podcasts, you're on. Because as a podcast host, like, I need this. I need to know how to grow my podcasts. Like, I know the organic way. I know all the little kind of like the black hat ways, if you will.
Yeah.
They're not really bad. They're just like, they're time consuming.
Yeah.
In essence. And you helping your friend figure it out, taking all your knowledge from the business world, came over and you're like, oh, I can do this. And you created something that's like, I posted yesterday about your client or your VIP that like for $2 a day is growing their email list.
Yeah.
Growing their podcast. That's like, that's mind blowing. It costs you $2 a day. Boom, $2 a day. That's nothing. That's a coffee from Starbucks at the end of the week, but we're boycotting them. But anyways, I want to know what was the initial push into the world of entrepreneurship? What was your initial push into the world of entrepreneurship? Why?
I became too unruly for corporate. So in entrepreneurship, like, okay, so growing up, I was always a server. I waited at restaurants for like 10 years. And then I hit like 25 and had a crisis of like, what do I do with my life? I need to get like a real job. And then I like went into like get a real job. And I was like, these jobs don't pay anything. So I went into sales because I was like, I want the opportunity to have, influence my income because that's what I always did was serving. And I loved that. And so I ended up going into sales. And that was in the insurance and financial services industry. So I did that for about 7 years. And then during COVID, decided to start this business kind of on the side. And then was just like really getting a taste of freedom. And I just became too unruly. And the stuff that they were trying to get me to do, and they were micromanaging. And I was just like, nah, I'm out. Like, can't do it anymore. Yeah, so I've been just a free-range chicken since April of 2021.
I love it. I love that. A free-range chicken. Probably less of a chicken, more like an eagle because you're soaring with your business. It's incredible some of the stuff that you've been able to accomplish just for podcasters with this program. So you just came out of beta, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Can you talk about some of the results that some of your beta podcasters have gotten, business owners have gotten with your results?
Yeah. So one of the things I'm like most proud of is the fact that, so what's inside of this course is our like signature trifecta ad strategy that focuses on social growth, podcast growth, and email list growth. And so we walk through that step by step via videos in the course on how to set that up. And everyone that's gone through it has been able to set up their campaigns, everything perfectly fine, without our help, which is fantastic, which is the goal, right? But with Facebook, you just never know. So I was like, sweet, I don't have to re-record any videos. It's awesome.
Until they updated in like 5 years.
Right. So, so we were really, really proud of that they were able to navigate it comfortably and confidently and be able to launch their campaigns on their own. And so we have just seen them be able to grow their email lists or their email list, but also their audience. So from the social growth standpoint, we are aiming for people to build kind of an invisible list. So there's 2 ways that you can build an audience when you're looking at online. So you've got your email list, which you'll pay for to get people onto your newsletter or however you build it, lead magnets, blah, blah, blah. And then you have kind of an invisible list where you can leverage Facebook and Instagram to build a list of people that have engaged with you. So like one of our students had, I think like 8,000 or 9,000 people that have already engaged with her, like in the course of the first 4 or 5 days of watching her ads. And we see that a lot with our clients. We have a client right now over the last 30 days has built an engaged list of 250,000 people. So it's just bananas. And so we've seen like an increase, like a 32% increase in plays on the podcast, 28% increase in like followers and listenership, and literally just like the first 2 weeks of running ads. So it's just really, really powerful. And a fairly simple strategy, but the beauty of it is that it works kind of behind the scenes while you're running your business and doing all the other things.
Oh my God, I love that. Like those are some big numbers for podcasters who've never had that growth. Like we hear that for like the 1%, the top percenters, they get those numbers easy and they're like, oh, it's nothing. It's just talk. But here you're going, you're showing them how to do it. You have a simple system and it's incredible. I'm blown away by like just how crazy you have been able to grow these podcasters just out of beta. And this is how many were in your beta group?
Yeah, so we had 20 in the beta group, but I've also done this strategy. I have a podcast growth VIP day where I've done that with a bunch of people as well. And I've garnered very similar results.
Jesus. So we're talking about maybe there's bare minimum 30 people who have attempted this and have gotten great results.
Yeah.
Jeez, I can't wait till this goes to the bigger world.
I'm
just so excited. Like, I'm glad that, one, I get to have you. I'm going to be posting this nearly immediately after we're done. And more people can go. If you're interested in signing up for it, of course, in the show notes, there is a link to join. So if you're listening to this and you're like, well, I want those same results, sign up today. It's a simple, what's the price point at? Anyways, it's $97, correct?
Yeah, so the course, the way that we decided to release it was not really the typical way when people buy a course where it's like $400 or $500. Like one time you might get some support for maybe 30 or 60 days. And then there's like some other back end kind of like membership situation. We really wanted to make it more accessible for business owners. And, a lot of the people that we tend to work with are either solopreneurs or they have like micro teams, I guess is a word that I've heard to describe it, or they have like a few people that are working with them. So we wanted to make it more accessible. So you can get started with the course as well as a community. So we decided to build a community around it as well, based on the feedback from our beta students, which I'm stoked about because podcasters are super engaging. So I cannot wait to just be vibing in there. Our beta students are already in there. People have been joining today. So I'm just super stoked to see where that community goes and just watching everybody kind of grow in there. But you can get started. It's literally $97 a month. It's like a subscription base for the course and in the community program.
And already, what I love is you were talking about someone who's just started your podcast day, your VIP podcast day. They were slamming. They were getting so many. So with that, let's talk about your podcast VIP day, because this is a very interesting concept. What does it entail?
Yeah, so they are my favorite. So I love doing it. It's a 4 to 6 hour day where I spend with my client and I literally implement that trifecta ad strategy for them, but I teach them what I'm doing so that they're comfortable with everything that's going on and kind of how to navigate it. So VIP days are really great for the person that's I want this set up correctly. I don't really necessarily feel like doing it all myself. But once it's set up and things are running, if you tell me what I need to look for and pay attention to, I can manage it myself, or I can have my VA or somebody on my team kind of manage it. So that's really who it works really, really well for. And so during the day, we literally set up that whole campaign strategy. We create graphics and we do all the ad copy and everything like that for the client. And so we just build it all out and I coach them, answer their questions, because everyone has a million questions about Facebook ads, right? Because it's just I've heard this, I don't know what's going on. So it's really a lot of that one-to-one coaching. And it's a day dedicated entirely to you. And so by the end of the day, we launch your ads. Your ads will go live the next day, or the following week, depending on what day we do the VIP day. And then your ads are ready to go. And so then I provide a 30-day support window because I monitor the ads for the month afterwards to make sure that nothing is weird. Sometimes when you launch campaigns and you've never done ads before, Facebook might do just some weird stuff. So I just keep a good professional eye on it because I know what I'm looking for. And then in that 30-day period, we have 2 one-to-one follow-up Zoom meetings where I answer questions. We talk more about the KPIs take a look at the back end and take a look at how things are going. And then after those 30 days, then you or your team can manage it. So it's super duper efficient, which is what I love. And we get so much done in that day together.
I love that. Danny Maria is actually asking a question because she's a little busy. She's a mompreneur herself. So she does have a few children attached to her.
Yeah.
So she's asking, is the group and service teaching the steps, or are you doing the ads for them? So if I understand correctly from what you explained, the group is you learn how to set up the ads. As I'm the customer, I set up the ads. I have a continual support in the group.
Yep.
For $97 a month, I watch the videos, I learn how to set it up, and then I put the money towards the ads. The VIP day is you set everything up for me, but you teach me one-on-one how to set it up. Plus you're keeping an eye on it so that if anything goes funky, because we know Facebook is funky, you can go, okay, wait, we need to fix this. We need to do this. And then afterwards, everything's good. And the onus is on the customer to pay for the ads, correct?
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
And,
but then that's correct. Those are the difference. So the course in the community is more self-paced, where we're going to do 2 live Q&As to start in the Facebook group. So there will be that where you can show up and you can submit questions or show up live and ask questions. But yes, that's the difference. The VIP day is more like implementation and direct access to me. Yeah. And then the course is more self-paced. Yep. So you're absolutely right.
Awesome. I wanted to clarify because I think I've understood, but I talk to at least 100 people in a day. So my brain is mush.
Totally get it. Totally get it.
When you were helping your friend set this up, were you worried that you weren't able to help them properly, or were you like, I know how to do this because I did it before?
Yeah, so that's really funny because he comes to me and he's like, I want to be your guinea pig. So he's like, let's test this out. And I'm like, okay, like I've never really run for podcasters specifically, but I'm like, I have a ton of knowledge on Facebook ads. Like I can figure this out. But he's like, I want it to be super cheap and I don't want it to be techie at all. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so hard. And I was like, can I do this? Like, I don't know, because it's like, working in the online space where I had been for the past few years is like, I was working like webinar funnels and launches and like all these like really crazy things where there's a lot of robust tracking and like pixels and Google Analytics and technology and all these things, which has forced me to become extremely techie against my will. But that is, how I am now. So then when he asked me this, I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know, can I really make it that simple? And it ended up working out. Like we definitely did. So it was really interesting because it was a challenge in a couple different ways, but I think like peeling me away from like the crazy complicated stuff I was normally used to doing. I'm like, wow, this really isn't as like crazy as people make it like it has to be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I did have that moment of doubt where I was like, oh, can I do this like really, really cheaply, but still be efficient and effective? And so luckily he was the guinea pig and let me kind of do some things and it ended up working out. So yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I love that. We do have a question here. It's not so much related to the course. It is Danny Maria, and she's wondering if she had some issues with fraud because someone tried to take over her account. Would you know how to resolve that? Obviously, we're not going to answer it on the air here. This is something that maybe we can put you in touch with. But would you have an idea on how to solve that and get that taken care of?
Yeah. So right now, there's a lot of stuff going on with hacking and fraud. And I think we're coming into an election year here in the US. And so it's just like, then Facebook has been very on top of like making sure that people they are who they say they are and all that kind of stuff. And so making sure you have two-factor on is the first thing. It's not a default that it's on. So you have to physically go turn it on. So that's the first place to start. The second place, if you have got hacked, it really depends on, Danny, you would have to reach out to me because it depends on like, there's levels of it and like whether you can even get into your account or if you can get into pieces of your account or that kind of thing. So yeah, if you want to reach out to me, we can talk a little bit more about that because it really depends on like what's going on in the back end.
And what I'll do, Danny, to help you out is I'll put you guys, since we're friends, I'll put you guys into a Facebook chat, and you guys can go ahead and talk your ears off about solving that. What with the Facebook ads course and that, do you guys have a suggested price point for what people should podcasters with business should be paying for their ads? Like how much should I invest first? Like, I already putting $97 in to learn all this. I've learned all this. Now how much do I throw at Facebook to get me big?
Yeah. So for the course, like the minimum we recommend is $10 to $20 a day. And then you can kind of scale up from there. So at least give you enough to like get some results. And then just get a good feel for how things are going. And then you are the steward of your,
Ship.
your money and your investment in your ship. And then you can kind of adjust going forward as you start getting more familiar and comfortable with how things are rolling.
And with your beta project or program, sorry, did you have any hiccups, or were there any points where people were like, this is a little confusing to me, or I need a little help understanding this?
Yeah, weirdly, no. Which was like, I was like, what? So literally like our beta students, and so not everybody got fully through, you know what I mean? Like some people are still working on some stuff because they're busy. But the people that have gone through it, like everyone's been able to work through and set up their campaigns and be totally good. We got a couple suggestions of like, hey, like a PDF here would be great. So like that's what we're kind of building one out right now to add to it to go with like a video. And then they were like, oh, can you put our like subtitles were white on a white background, so they disappeared, and I didn't realize that. So just like that kind of stuff was really what we ended up having to fix. So
swallow minute things that really don't take away from the course. I love that.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see that, but I was excited about it.
Of course, no, that's great. I love seeing that there was so much positivity and there wasn't so much corrections that need to do, just a little add ups. It shows that you broke it down to the bare bones that someone as maybe not complex in the world of Facebook ads like podcasts can use.
Kept it really, really like my whole goal. I was like, I'm going to teach this strategy. I'm going to tell them what they need to know. And like, that's it. So you can launch it and you can keep moving, because there are so many Facebook ads courses, which apparently there's ones that like teach you how to do ads, but then they get in there and they don't teach you how to do ads, which like blows my mind. But they're really, really just like fill it up with like all this stuff where there's tons of modules and a million lessons on all the intricacies of Facebook, when really like, unless you're going to be an ad manager, like that doesn't matter. Like you don't need to know all this weird stuff on the back end. Like here's what you need to know to like set this up and launch these things. And then if you need any other help on any other stuff, you have the group in the community. Like it doesn't have to be this crazy thing. So it's literally 4 modules and like 15 lessons. That's it.
That's
It's less than like 9 hours of, I think it's less than 9 hours of videos. So like you could literally bang it out in a weekend. Like it's very like to the point.
I love it. It's simple, to the point. It makes you like grow email lists. Like, what are some of the numbers that you were able to accomplish in your beta group with the people that were that completed it? Like, what are some of the growth that happened?
Yeah. So, I mean, engagements and building audience for literally less than $1, or less than a penny, excuse me. So building up that audience with thousands of people for like $5, $10, like it's crazy. Building the email list I've got a couple running right now for like $2 and $4, like a lead, which is great. And then, the podcast growth, like we're getting literally 600-700 new people to their podcast in a matter of like weeks for like 40 cents a piece. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's insane, because that's going to push you into the top 1% podcast uber quickly, and then all of a sudden you're getting higher and higher ranked people coming on the podcast to want to be on the podcast.
And it's interesting too. I was just on a debrief call with a client yesterday, and we were taking a look at her back end. And that's the tricky thing with like podcasts, is like tracking the data and stuff. But what we found was like the people that were coming from the ads were listening to her episodes all the way through.
That
which I was like, that is awesome.
that
Like
is
going to like older episodes too. So she's like, I know that this is from the ads because this came out however long ago. But that was really interesting to see that they were listening all the way through and they were gravitating to solo episodes as well. So that was just really interesting info to know.
that's great too. The ads are popping up the previous episodes, making the client and making the listener become more and more ingrained into the community to become one of those top 1,000 fans,
Yeah.
hardcore fans. I love that. My God. And this is just with ads. And it's like
Oh, yeah.
with $10 to $20 a day, ads, growing everything. Plus, we know that once your email list starts growing, you can start, affiliate marketing, products, merchandise, everything in it can grow exponentially because,
Mhm.
Russell Brunson says your email list is every name on your email list is $1 in your pocket.
Yeah.
So just think about that. That is insane.
Yeah. The compound effect is it's huge.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it. Where do you see Chime House Media, this community going, in the next 5 years?
Yeah. Well, my goal is world domination in the podcasting space. So I want to be like, that's a girl who does Facebook ads for podcasters. And the community itself, like there is just so much like opportunity with this that I'm just really, really excited about. So I honestly don't know where it's going to go, but my plan is to grow it exponentially. And it'll probably evolve into more like, teaching and learning opportunities for people in the group. I was thinking the other day of like, okay, now that we have these podcasters in here, like making sure that they're connecting with people that are other service providers, maybe for managing and editing and that kind of stuff that are legit and vetted, by me and that kind of stuff. I mean, I think there's just so much opportunity to create like an incredible group of people who are building and growing, but then also helping them with like, okay, well, now you're growing, like maybe here are some other things at this next level that you might need. I mean, I don't know. There's just so many opportunities and I'm trying not to like get bogged down by, but I'm like, I think it's just going to be so exciting to just see how it evolves and I'm just going to let it evolve and we'll just see. But like my goal is to grow it and to grow it massively and to be the person that people go to when,
for
ads for podcasts to grow their podcast because nobody else is doing it. And so here I come.
You're the first. You're going to be the biggest. You found your blue ocean, as I think it's Seth Godin says. Find your blue ocean, and just own it. Pardon me. I want to know because I'm a lover of books. I devour books all the time. What is a book that you would suggest for an entrepreneur to read?
Ooh, one that I started off with was "You Are a Badass" by Jen Sincero. And that was like when I really, like, I truly became an entrepreneur. And it really helps you like get your mindset, which I loved. And then she did another one that was like, "You Are a Badass at Making Money," which I thought was really great, but especially for women, because I think a lot of times when we get into a space where we're selling, there's like a lot of feelings around that.
Mhm.
And that book was really, really great for just helping with the mindset and the feelings of like all the things that are going on when you're in a position now where like you're making the money and it's your job to make the money and charging people and getting clients. So those two were really, really great for me when I was getting started.
I love it. And definitely going to have to check those out as well. Love reading that. Megan, we're coming to the end, which I hate because I just want to talk with you for the rest of my life because there's probably more knowledge in your brain than I'd be able to find on the internet. But I have 10-year-old Megan right here, Spitfire, ready to go out and overtake the world and make it her empire. What's one piece of advice you want to give to Megan? Old Megan.
Don't give up, man. Just keep on going. It'll all work out.
I love it. Very simple, to the point. Don't give up. Megan, I'm going to jump off here. I want you to let my audience know how they can connect with you, how they can, join the course. Of course, the link's in the show notes down below. Make sure you click that link specifically because that's an affiliate link. Helps me out. But apart from that, Megan, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again, Bill. This was so much fun. So if you want to connect with me, I pretty much live on Instagram. So here's my handle right here at Chime House Media. I love a voice note. I love a DM. Don't be a stranger. As well as chimehousemedia.com is our website. So you can take a look at all the cool things we got going on, different podcast features we've been on, and dive a little bit deeper to get to know us better. And so, feel free to connect with me. I look forward to hearing from you. And thank you again, Phil, so much.
Megan, it's the pleasure's mine. Having you come on, being able to say that I had the first ever Facebook ads course creator for podcasters on my podcast is something that I'm going to love forever, because I have someone that's helping the community that I love, the industry that I am a part of. So Megan, I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing this great course and community that you have created.
Thank you.
To my audience, now here's the important thing. If you want Megan to come on your show to talk to you about podcasting and ads and Facebook and all those wonderful things, show notes has all the links to her. If you're looking to say, hey, I want to take my podcast to the next level, make sure you check out I believe it's called the Podcast Audience Amplifier.
Yep.
Did I mess it? Yeah, I got it right. Woo. I should have had that right on the screen. But yeah, if you're looking for the podcast audience amplifier, the link is in my show notes. Make sure you click it. It's $97, but you can grow your audience for like $2 a day. Like, that's insane when you think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for being here. Megan, thank you again for being a part of this show. And remember always to invest in yourself.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to take the next step. When you're ready to dive deeper into how to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, Phil's got something special for you. Join him for a free webinar where he'll reveal the 3 secrets that have helped countless entrepreneurs succeed in podcasting. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot, and let's turn your podcasting dreams into reality.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.